In the summer of 2013, the Anaheim Ducks traded Bobby Ryan to the Ottawa Senators for Jacob Silfverberg, Stefan Noesen, and a 2014 first-round draft pick. That is right, we're doing a scenario in which Bobby Ryan was never traded to the Ottawa Senators. So let's jump right in here, take control of the teams, and we can talk about it a little bit. If I can find Ottawa, there they are. Now, I had a suggestion to do this, and once I got really thinking about it, I thought this was just an absolutely great suggestion. Let me go ahead and set this up here, and we can get into it. No injuries, of course, as always, and you see Bobby Ryan there on the Ottawa Senators. Alright, so when I first heard about this trade, I thought it was going to be absolutely disastrous for the Anaheim Ducks. Now we take a look at the lines here. You got Bobby Ryan back with Ryan Getzlaf and Corey Perry. This is what the rest of their lines look like. And we can go over to Ottawa and take a look at what their lines would look when you insert Nick Ritchie and Jacob Silfverberg into there instead of Bobby Ryan. Now, like I said, when I had first heard... Okay, let me get this straight. We're going to follow Ottawa for the first half of the season and then Anaheim for the second half. So I just want that to be clear. Now, back to what I was saying. When I first heard about this trade, I was like, Anaheim, what are you thinking? He had been a 30-goal scorer multiple times in his career. At the time, I thought he was a great goal scorer and something that you're just not going to find every day in the NHL. That's a very true statement, but if you look at it now, Bobby Ryan has declined since he came off of Ottawa. I don't know if that has anything to... or since he came off of Anaheim, excuse me. I don't know if that has anything to do with Ottawa's system or some problems that he's having with teammates or anything like that. I don't know Ottawa's situation, so let that be clear. Now, anyway, like I said, he just hasn't been performing in Ottawa. He still has the talent, and you see flashes of it from time to time, but he is clearly not the guy he was 3-4 years ago when he was putting up 30 goals every season with the Anaheim Ducks. Now, I don't know what is going on with Bobby Ryan here in Ottawa, but I don't think it really matters. I think Anaheim just is realizing that they definitely won this trade and who they got from Ottawa. And Ottawa, I think you overpaid just a little bit. Like, if you had to go back and redo this trade, I definitely would not include that first-round pick. So you guys would at least have Nick Ritchie out of the deal, or somebody else. Who knows where they? Who knows who they would have drafted? Honestly, with Bobby Ryan's big contract, I feel like Ottawa should have had a little bit more leveraging with that, but they still went for it, and they're stuck. They're stuck with his contract now, and he's not even a 30-goal scorer. So it's not like they're paying a premium for goal scoring, really. They're overpaying for goal scoring. We can take a look at how the Ottawa Senators are doing without Bobby Ryan. First, taking a look at their points. Through 50 games, Mike Hoffman leads the team with 44 points. It's looking like he'll be that 30-goal scorer for Ottawa, and who knows how better he would be doing with Mike Hoffman. I mean, with Bobby Ryan, excuse me. I mean, him and Mark Stone have had pretty good years this year in real life. So who knows what playing on that first line of Kyle Turris the entire time would do to him. Erik Karlsson still having a fantastic season as well. Let's take a look at where they stand in the Atlantic. They're actually third. They are 2 points ahead of the Detroit Red Wings. So, you know, they're actually doing pretty good without Bobby Ryan. So, Ottawa, maybe you made a mistake even getting him. Now let's go ahead and watch the Anaheim Ducks for the rest of this, and we can talk about why Anaheim has come ahead on this trade. When this trade was made, like I said, I thought Anaheim had really given up a core piece of their team. But what they got back was, like I said, that first round pick. They got Jacob Silfverberg and Stefan Noesen. Now, Stefan Noesen is still a prospect for them. He hasn't quite made it to be a NHL everyday player. He's still got a long way to go in that regard. Now, if playing these NHL games has told me anything, Stefan Noesen becomes pretty good. So, Anaheim fans, you got nothing to worry about that with that guy. He progresses really well. Jacob Silfverberg, on the other hand, I believe he just signed an extension. I don't remember exactly how much it was for, but it is really cap friendly. He'll be a great second, third liner for you guys in the future, and he's just a great piece of the team. And you got Nick Ritchie coming up. I believe he's played on the third line a little bit in Anaheim. I don't know for sure. Again, because I don't watch West Coast games really, because I'm a Red Wings fan. I get East Coast, mostly Red Wings games anyway. Now, what I've seen of the Anahiem Ducks is they're a really good team. Yes, they struggled early in the season, but lately they've had the best power play, the best penalty kill. They were the first team to do that in NHL history. They are a very good team, and I mean, showing it here, even with Bobby Ryan, they're still a good team. But Jacob Silfverberg and Nick Ritchie are going to be really good pieces for the team in years to come. Corey Perry with 41 goals this season. Bobby Ryan's still not able to get back to that 30 goals, which he had in Anaheim. And if you take a look here, apart from the lockout season, which you can't quite count, but he wouldn't have been a 30-goal scorer that year anyway. But those past 4 years, he was a 30-goal scorer. Take out the lockout year, and then he goes to Ottawa, and he gets 23 in 18, and now I don't know exactly what he's at this season, but in NHL 16 is 22 goals. Like I said, I think Anaheim really is coming out on top on this trade. Yes, they gave away one of their best goal scorers, but he really hasn't panned out in Ottawa since. And the pieces that they got back was an absolute steal. And I believe that Anaheim will benefit in years to come. And the reason why they made the trade mostly, as you see Anaheim and Ottawa both made the playoffs, the reason why they made the trade mostly was because the GM, oh God, who's the GM's name? He didn't like being so close to the cap ceiling. So they traded Bobby Ryan away and then signed Saku Koivu to an extension. Saku Koivu of all people. And then they were like $7 million below the cap ceiling. So the whole reason why Bobby Ryan got traded is, one, he wasn't exactly gelling with the teammates. Bruce Boudreau was trying him out in several different places, not always playing him with Getzlaf and Perry. Even tried him out at center for a little bit. None of the things really worked out. And I believe at that time he did have the big contract that he has now, and Toronto wins the Stanley Cup. Oh my goodness. This NHL 16 just likes to take away any credibility that I try and instill in it. Anyway, they traded him because they were so close to the cap, and they had to make a decision. It was honestly Bobby Ryan, Corey Perry, or Ryan Getzlaf, and they made a decision with Bobby Ryan to get rid of him. And there were talks about him going to Philly, which Philly fans, you guys dodged a bullet here. I don't think he would be nearly as good as if he was in Philly. But anyway, he goes to Ottawa, and Anaheim just gets so many assets, and now they're comfortable underneath the cap, and they have so many good players on the roster. They are honestly a very good team. And yeah, like I said, they had a little bump at the start of the season, but I mean, since then they've been arguably the best team in the NHL. I think if they would take on the Washington Capitals in a 7-game series right now, it would go to 7 games, go to overtime, and it would just be neck and neck the entire series. It would be a hell of a series, and honestly, I think it could be Anaheim going up against the Washington Capitals in the Stanley Cup Finals. Really, I mean, I just think they are that good of a team, without Bobby Ryan. And as you see in NHL here, they'd make the playoffs, but I don't know how far they'd go. As you see here, they lost in the first round, and Ottawa did as well. But Toronto won the Stanley Cup, so how much credibility can you really give NHL 16 right now? So, Anaheim fans, Ottawa fans, you guys got nothing to worry about. I know Ottawa did not make the playoffs. Anaheim did. But, Ottawa, I'm sorry, your future's not looking so great. Even though you have Erik Karlsson, still, with Bobby Ryan on the team, I don't see you guys as being cup contenders anytime soon. Anaheim, on the other hand, you guys are doing great. Keep doing whatever the hell you guys are doing. You just won the Pacific Division for the 4th year in a row now. You guys are amazing. Keep doing what you were doing, and eventually you guys will win the Stanley Cup. This is how it would work in NHL 16. Both teams made the playoffs, honestly. That took me by surprise a little bit. But Toronto wins the Stanley Cup if Bobby Ryan doesn't get traded. So Toronto fans, maybe you should be upset that this trade went through. Anyway, this is how NHL 16 would view it if Bobby Ryan was never traded. I believe that Anaheim would not be as good now if they didn't have Silverberg and Ritchie and Stefan Noesen instead of Bobby Ryan. But this is how NHL 16 says it would be, like I said. That'll be all for now. If you guys have any suggestions, leave them down in the comments. I love reading the comments. I love trying out your guys' ideas, because you guys came up with this idea. I never would have thought to do this, but you guys had a great idea, and I decided to do this. So thank you guys very much, and I'll see you next time.